I'm Oklahoma State coach Mike Gundy, and you're watching Big12Sports.com.
Welcome to the Big 12 Report. Well, the calendar has flipped to November. That means we're still in the middle of football season. Basketball season is about to start, and we're winding down in a few fall sports. I'm Wendell Barnhouse, Big12Sports.com correspondent. This week, co-host is Cassandra Novi.
Great to be here, Wendell. Well, we've had a few upsets this past season with football, including last week Missouri over Texas A&M. But you know how they say, those who win in November are remembered. So what games are standing out to you this week for the first weekend in November?
Well, Texas A&M visits Norman to face an Oklahoma team which is coming off its most complete game of the season. The Sooners bounce back from their only loss of the year with a 58-17 victory at Kansas State. Oklahoma quarterback Landry Jones leads the Big 12 in total offense and touchdown passes. The Aggies are coming off another disappointing loss that saw them lose despite a double-digit halftime lead. Texas A&M beat Oklahoma in College Station last season and has the offensive weapons to repeat that victory Saturday. And Kansas State visits Oklahoma State for a primetime game Saturday night. The Cowboys are off to one of the best starts in school history and are one of 6 undefeated teams in the country. Oklahoma State is second in the nation in scoring and 4th in total offense. Their defense gives up a lot of yards, but leads the nation in turnovers and interceptions. The Wildcats had a tough time slowing Oklahoma's high-powered offense and will face a similar challenge in Stillwater. Quarterback Colin Klein in Kansas State's running game will have to grind out yardage on the ground and control the clock. And here's a look at the rest of Saturday's football schedule. Texas Tech plays Texas in Austin in a game that starts at 11 a.m. Kansas travels to Ames to face Iowa State in a game that kicks off at 11:30 a.m. And Missouri makes its second straight trip to the Lone Star State when the Tigers play at Baylor at 6 p.m.
Thanks, Wendell, for that preview for the upcoming football schedule. Well, we have 2 new athletic directors that took over at Kansas and Texas Tech. Here's a look at what their game plans were whenever they came into the job.
You know, it's gone very well. I really had mapped out the first 90 days, and that's something we talked a lot about within the department and with the media when I first got here. What I found, though, was that taking the reins of a department in February, actually I showed up in January, gave an extra month, but taking the reins in January, February is very different from taking the reins June 1. And so I had to invert some of the plans that I had, and so that's put us midsummer now in the middle of policy review and so many of those drier things that I was able to put off while I was getting to know donors and staff and coaches early on.
I've learned over the course of my career that when you come into a new program, when you come into a new opportunity, the best thing that you can do is take your time. You can look, you can listen, you can ask questions and learn. And there are so many special traditions here at Texas Tech University. And it's important for me to sit back and, you know, it takes 8 to 10 months to feel like you can get your feet on the ground. And then you can start talking strategy and long-term vision. But I think for me, it was coming in and learning about Texas Tech University, learning about this athletics program, and then working with those that were here on shaping our future. Because the one thing I've learned, the success is not going to be because of Kirby Hocutt. It's not going to be because of Tommy Tuberville or Billy Gillespie. It's going to be because we have 176 employees. We have 385 student athletes that are working together.
Thanks, William, for that report. So, Wendell, what do we have for shout-outs this week?
Well, congratulations to Big 12 cross-country champions Oklahoma State and Iowa State. The Cyclones won their first women's championship while the Cowboys won the men's title for the 4th consecutive year. Iowa State head coach Corey Immels was voted the Big 12 cross-country coach of the year. You can check out the full video report on the cross-country championships at Big12Sports.com. And my second shout-out, the Big 12 Soccer Championship is underway in San Antonio. Friday's semifinals can be seen on Big12Sports.com, and the championship game will be carried by FSN at 3:30 p.m. Sunday. And my final shout out, Kevin Durant, the former Texas player, National Player of the Year, and a two-time NBA scoring champion, spent his Halloween playing flag football at Oklahoma State. No, really. Durant is restless and bored with the NBA season on hold because of a labor lockout. Monday night, he tweeted to his million-plus followers that he wanted to play some flag football. Well, he got a response from Oklahoma State student George Overbay, who said his team, quote unquote, needed a deep threat. Durant showed up around 10 p.m. in Stillwater and played the entire game at quarterback and defensive back. And he later tweeted about how much fun he had and gave a shout out to his new best friend George Overbay, and even included his game stats. So there's a shout out from Kevin Durant here for our final shout out of the show.
Well, seems like they had a lot of fun there in Stillwater that night. Well, that wraps it up for this week's Big 12 Report. For Wendell Barnhouse, I'm Cassandra Novi. We'll see you next week.